Hey guys, Brad Gilmore here. Want to give a big shout out to our title sponsor, Walker Texas Lawyer. If you or a loved one have been injured in an accident, whether that be a car, truck, motorcycle accident, or some kind of other issue, hit up Walker Texas Lawyer at 713-552-1117 or walkertexaslawyer.com.
Oh, Brad, what have you done now?
Broadcasting live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. TV host, best-selling author, and radio personality Brad Gilmore brings you a collection of conversations with stars from movies.
Matthew McConaughey.
Brad Gilmore.
Mark Wahlberg.
Hey, how are you?
The legendary Mr. Christopher Lloyd. Christopher, how are we doing?
I'm doing good. Great introduction.
Jessica Alba and Lizzie Mathis. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Kevin Costner joins us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Television.
Jimmy Fallon joins us this morning. Jimmy, how you doing, my friend?
Good morning. Thank you so much, Brad, for having me. I appreciate this, bud.
Kelly Ripa.
Brad, thank you for having me.
Comedy.
Jay Leno joins us. Jay, how you doing?
Hey, Brad, what's going on?
Chris Tucker is in the building. Chris Tucker, good morning to you.
Hey, Brad, and good morning to you. How are you?
George Lopez joins us right now. George, how are you doing, sir?
Good morning.
Music.
Lola Monroe.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
The legendary frontman of AC/DC, Brian Johnson, joins us right now. Brian, how you doing?
Good morning, Brad. What lovely to talk. You me funny lad.
Megan Trainor.
Thank you so much, Brad. You're awesome.
Chloe Bailey joins us. I appreciate the time.
Appreciate you.
And more. This is The Collection. Now your host, The Boat.
Brad Gilmore!
We've been talking about it all morning. He's joining me right now to talk the last rodeo. Neal, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show, Brad. Really appreciate it.
Well, look, congratulations to you on getting this film made, having it in theaters this Memorial Day weekend. You know, I'm down here in Houston, so we love a good movie about a rodeo. We have the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo every year. But this is such a great and powerful story. Talk to me, for the people listening, about what this movie truly is about.
It's about the heartland of America. That's really what it's about. You know, I think the heartland of America has been kind of pushed to the side, and their voice has not been heard for quite some time. But I think now things have changed, you know, in the climate in this last year, that I think that everyone's starting to embrace it. I mean, look, what was the number one selling album of the year? Beyonce doing a country album. You know, that's just crazy. You know, so everyone loves Americana, and I think that we're finally having the opportunity to make these types of films. And for me, to team up with Angel Studios and allow them to tell the story that I wanted to tell, and to put together the team that we put together, this is an incredible movie, and I'm so proud of it. And it comes out this weekend, you know, and on Memorial Day weekend, which is, you know, all about how great America is, and about the men and women who have served so valiantly for our country that gave us the freedoms that we have today. To celebrate that in the last rodeo is just something that the timing was perfect, and I couldn't be prouder of this movie.
Well, you know, and I think the themes that you touch on, and especially kind of the wave of, I guess you could characterize it as patriotism as of late. I think Mark Twain once said you should be a patriot all the time and support your government when they deserve it, right? But we are all Americans at the end of the day and truly love this country. Now, writing a movie like this and acting in it, that was a question I was curious about, because I know that you helped with the screenplay, obviously helped write the screenplay as well as acting in the movie. Is that a difficult thing to balance, what's on the page versus what you actually need to bring to life on set, being so close to the material?
I think that's a great question. You know, being so close to material, since, you know, the whole idea came to me that when I was doing another movie at the time, and I was away from my wife, Ruvé, and the kids, and I'm miserable when I'm away from them. And I got gut punched driving home one day in Arizona. What would ever happen to me if something happened to Ruvé? And I pulled over to the side of the road thinking, oh my gosh, that's just an awful thought. And then this other thought came into my head, which I know was a gift from above. Write a movie about Rocky on a bull where you have to go back and save your grandson because he's dying of a brain tumor, the same thing that killed your wife. So wait a minute, what? Where did, you know, I'm a pretty clever guy, but that was out of my comfort zone. And to have it in the world of bull riding, which I didn't know a whole lot about, I knew was a gift from God. And I sat there on the side of the 10 freeway for 2 hours as semis were ripping by me, crying and laughing, outlining what I thought the film would be. And then a week later, my writing partner and I, Derek Presley, we had our first draft, and a week later, Ruvé and I went out and found the financing, got distribution through Angel Studios, and 2 years later, almost to the date, here we are, Brad. And it's a minor miracle that to make a film, but to do it that quickly and to have it done with all the people that I love so much. My favorite director of all time, John Avnet, two of my best friends, Michael T. Williamson and Christopher McDonald, in the film with me. And the best part, I've never kissed a woman on screen before, as everyone knows. So this is the first time I kiss a woman in a movie, and it's none other than my actual real-life wife, Ruvé, who plays my wife in the flashbacks. So it's just awesome. It really is awesome.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder how God blesses you with these opportunities for all the stars to align perfectly in order to make this movie, The Last Rodeo. It feels like you characterize it as a minor miracle. I like that. I'm going to start using that one. But you said you didn't know a lot about bull riding or the rodeo world, which I actually feel like, in my opinion, would be an advantage when you're approaching a screenplay, because you're actually having to think about it from the audience perspective. You're discovering the world as the screenwriter, and you're allowing the audience to help discover the world almost simultaneously. Am I right that it kind of is an advantage?
You nailed it. I think everyone knows about bull riding. Everyone's seen bull riding and PBR, but and I've been riding horses my whole life, so I know the culture to an extent, but not to the extent that I jumped in with both feet and said, okay, if I'm going to write a film about bull riding, I got to learn everything about the culture. And so I immerse myself in it, and just I'm crazy that way. When I do something, I'm all in. And to be around the guys, and Sean Gleason, the CEO and the head of PBR, he was what a gift he was, because he not only gave us the real PBR bulls, he gave us the real PBR riders and allowed us to use their real names in the movie, which kind of validates what we're doing, right? But then to kit out the stadium to make it look like a PBR event and have all the PBR guys make it perfect, you would think, watching the film, you were actually at a PBR event. And now that I've been to so many of them, they're incredible shows to go to. And so, yeah, you're right. It was through a new lens, looking at what I was doing and what I was writing, and I just didn't want to let the audience down. And we worked really hard making sure that we didn't. And I think with the reviews that I've read so far, and I don't read reviews, I don't look at social media. I think it's just kind of toxic for creative people. To read reviews like Variety, who hates anything that has anything to do with faith, and they gave the most beautiful review of the film, of the film itself, my performance, everything else. It was just, it was so touching, and I'm so honored that we made such a great film and everyone's loving it so much.
Well, trends come and go, Neal, but greatness never goes on sale. And I think the message that you have here in this movie is truly that of, there's so many themes, obviously, that we could talk about, but at the heart of it, it's a great story, and it's told in a great fashion. And I think that's why people are responding to it so much. I wanted to ask you about this, because I think one of the most difficult things that creatives go through, but really people of all walks of life, is self-belief. And when I look at your story, you're somebody who, your acting and film career, you were always in the mix, took off a little bit maybe later than some of your peers did at the time, and then you had children later in life, but you've always had this incredible self-belief, I feel. Where does that emanate from?
I think when I was a kid, I have 5 older siblings, and I came along 5 years later as a mistake. My mother said I was the greatest mistake she ever made. Thanks, Mom. They used to make me entertain them when I was 2, 3, 4, 5 years old when I first started. And if I didn't entertain them well enough, they'd just kind of torture me. So I figured out how to entertain crowds really quickly as a kid. And I think it's just kind of the only job I've ever had in my life. And so it's been this natural progression of entertaining people. And I love getting in front of people and becoming a character. In real life, I'm much more kind of an introverted type of person, and I'm more of a lone wolf. But you put me in front of a camera, or you give me dialogue to a different character, I become a different person. I go to a whole different place. And it's to be able to do that and have the career that I've had and the longevity, and 150 movies and TV shows later, and it's just, if you said to me, this little kid growing up in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, that this would happen, I would say, sorry, mister, you get the wrong guy. But it did happen, and it's here now, and I still feel like I'm just scratching at it. I'm just getting better and better and better as I get older.
Yeah, we don't have we don't have control over when we get called home, right? But I always ask God just to give me enough time to let me finish my work. And I think that you're well on your way to having an incredible, you've already had an incredible career and now telling more incredible stories like this one, The Last Rodeo, in theaters now. Neal, I really appreciate the time. God bless. And thank you for sharing this story with the entire world.
Thank you for having me on the show. I really, really, really appreciate it, Brett. Thank you.